Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important current affairs that appear in our today's Hindi newspaper, guys. So let us see the first article, see the title. India may increase energy efficiency target for COP30. What is this article is talking about? It is talking about one thing, that is COP30. And next one is it is talking about energy efficiency. So actually recently NAPI Group D examination happened. So in that Group D examination, one question is, so in which of the following country COP30 is going to be held? So here from this titles also, yes, there will be a question in different examinations. Okay, so here the keywords are two. First one is COP30 and second one is energy efficiency. Okay, so what is the full form of COP? Conference of Parties. So actually we have United Nations FCC, right? So every year we have meetings in that UNFCC. So here that meetings is nothing but COPs, Conference of Parties. And here we are going to have 30th meet of this UNFCC in 2025, guys. Okay, so because of this it is in news. So actually whenever we are having any meet, that is Conference of Parties, so what happens, so they will come up with a particular agenda, like for next 1 year what are the steps which are going to be taken by the countries. So they will be having certain agenda. So not only agenda, even the countries which are participating in this meet, they have to present their targets and they have to give their report, like what are the steps they took so far and how they control climate change and what are the contributions from that so and so country. They have to give all these details in this COP30, and we are going to have this COP30 soon. So now because of this, our India is revising our energy efficiency targets. Okay, so here you have to see what are our previous targets, and these previous targets are called as NDCs. Have you come across this word NDCs? Nationally determined contributions. So here I said that whenever the countries who are participating in this meet, they have to give in detail about their targets and the report, like what they did and what they achieved so far. So here India will come up with its own targets. So that targets are called as nationally determined contributions, and every country have their own contributions. So here from India point of view, we have to see what are our NDCs, previous NDCs, and how we are going to update according to the new things. So all these things are very, very important. And actually this topic is very important from your environment and ecology. So this UNFCC you will be studying in your static syllabus of environment and ecology, and you have to update with the current affairs, like what are the new NDCs, what are the old NDCs, and whether we are going to achieve our targets or not. If we are able to achieve that target, how we are going to achieve that. If not, what are the challenges we have and what is the way forward. So this will become your mains part, and this will be like your prelims part. Okay. So now let us see the context. So India came up with climate commitments, and these climate commitments are evolving rapidly. So why these climate commitments are evolving rapidly? So actually the important reason behind this is climate change is happening at a very rapid pace. So it is not like if you go back to 2 decades ago or 3 decades ago, how the climate was, now the climate is entirely different. And you know that because of this climate change which is happening at a very fast rate, that is leading to extreme weather events, EW, extreme weather events are happening. So these extreme weather events are nothing but increased melting of glaciers, increasing of levels of water in the sea, that is nothing but sea level rise. And even nowadays there is increase in many cloudburst like events, increased landslides and increasing earthquake events. So those are nothing but because of climate change. These are the weather events that we are facing, and because of that extreme weather events, it is causing disasters in not only in India but even different countries are facing this. So because of this, we have to come up with new targets so that we can achieve this climate change related problems, or else we can't achieve that. Okay. So now we are going to have this conference of parties, that is 30th session or 30th meet of this UNFCCC, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And when it is going to start, it will be started from the next month, that is November 10 to November 21, and is going to held in Brazil, guys. Very, very important. And here you may also get one more kind of prelims question in UPSC. That is, on one side they'll give you COP, important COP summits. In COP summit, 15 is very important, 29 is very important, and now you're having 30. So right. So you have to see all these COPs and in which place it had been held. So they may give you choose the correct answer type of question here. Okay, how many pairs are correct, which pairs are correct, like that. So in this way you have to prepare at least very important COP summits. Okay, now this COP 30 is going to held in this Brazil. Where is this Brazil located? South America. What is the importance of Brazil? Amazon forest. Next. Brazil is famous for what? Which production? Sugarcane production. Yeah, next. It is the largest country in this South America. Yes. So you have to see like which are the water bodies or which are the important rivers which are present there. And this Brazil is very important for this Amazon forest. And what is happening in the recent past in this Amazon forest? Wildfires is happening and even deforestation is happening. The shrinking of this Amazon forest started. It is decreasing of size of this Amazon forest. So here, because of this, actually Amazon forest is called as lungs of the world. Do you know this? Why? Because it is having huge carbon sink. That is nothing but more number of trees, that too evergreen forest we have in that region. So because of this, they are called as lungs of this world. But because of this shrinking size of this Amazon forest day by day, what is happening? That is leading to increased carbon dioxide emissions. That leads to very faster change in our climate. So here in this COP 30, we are going to held in that Brazil because we have to showcase the importance of Amazon forest to entire world. Okay. Yeah, if you see about our India's proposed changes to efficiency targets under Paris Agreement. Do you know this Paris Agreement? So actually I said COP 15 is important, right? So in this COP 15 itself, we came up with this concept called as Paris Climate Deal or Paris Climate Agreement. So what it says, Paris Climate Deal says, so according to Paris Climate Deal or Paris Climate Agreement, we have to reduce global warming by 1.5 degrees centigrade to 2 degrees centigrade when we are comparing with pre-industrial levels. That is around 1990s. If you compare with this 1990s, we have to reduce temperature by 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees centigrade. That is the goal under this Paris Climate Deal, and we came up in year 2015. So actually to achieve that targets, our government came up with this NDCs, that is nationally determined contribution. So how can we reduce temperature? Tell me what measures can we take? How can we reduce temperature? First one is we can increase tree cover. So while we are increasing tree cover, what happens? It will absorb more carbon dioxide, right? For the photosynthesis process. So it can absorb more carbon dioxide. This is the first thing that we can do. Apart from that, what is a major source of carbon dioxide emissions or greenhouse gas emissions? Yes, vehicles. So we have to reduce vehicular pollution. So how can we reduce this vehicular pollution? Tell me guys. Yeah, we can move towards electric vehicles, EVs. Next. Yes, 20% of ethanol blending, which is in news recently. Next. That is in Delhi. That is during this winter season, we'll follow this odd even policy. So one day we'll allow odd number plates on the road, and one day we'll be allowing even number plates. That will be following Delhi, but entire country will not follow that. Only during winter season we'll follow that odd even policy. And next, what can we do? So we can go for phasing out of vehicles. So even after 15 years or 20 years also, the vehicles will be running on the roads. So that old vehicles will release lots of exhaust. Do you know this? So we have to go for vehicle removal policy, that is called as vehicle scrap policy, proper implementation of this vehicle scrap policy. And this one is mandatory checking of pollution or pollution control measures, right? Okay, and apart from these vehicles, what can we do here to reduce this global warming? Think, you can do it. Okay, actually we came up with this concept called as desulfurization. So actually what happens here is industries are also one of the important major source of releasing of greenhouse gases or pollution into atmosphere. So we have to capture that polluted air and we have to normalize that, and we have to release a fresh air into the atmosphere. So here we have to use certain technology. One such technology is desulfurization. Normally we will be using in coal or thermal plants. Next, what can we do? So rather than producing of electricity by using this coal, that is thermal electricity, we can go for improving of our renewable energy sources like solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, tidal energy, right? So here these are the steps that we have to take to control this climate. So let us see what are our NDCs, whether they are as per this requirements or not. Let us check. So here the first one here is they want to reduce emissions, emission intensity reduction. So actually we want to cut down the intensity of emissions by 45% by 2030. So if you are reducing our emissions, can we control this pollution and global warming? So the target here is 45% of emissions we have to reduce by 2030. And next one is we have to increase renewable energy share. That is, not, rather than using this fossil fuels, we have to go for non-fossil fuels. Examples will be solar energy, wind energy, thermal energy, geothermal energy, like that. And even we are going for carbon sink creation. Carbon sink is nothing but the areas which can absorb more carbon dioxide. So which are those carbon sinks? We have trees. That is nothing but we have to improve forest cover. And next important source is oceans. Oceans will also absorb more amount of carbon dioxide. So we have to absorb additional 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide. That means we have to improve forest and tree cover by 2030. So these are the certain targets of our country to control this global warming. Okay, and actually we came up with this NDC 3.0, that is nothing but nationally determined contributions 3.0 to be submitted by government in this COP30. But exactly the details and figures they didn't give, but they gave an overview of what it will be. So they said that we want to increase energy efficiency target, and especially Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change said that yes, we are going to increase our energy intensity reduction by 40% to 45 to 50% by 2035. They increased here, that is earlier they said 2030 and now they said 2035, and they increased 5 to 10% of target here. And next one here is they also said that they are going to come up with mandatory benchmarks for high energy sectors. So the sectors which will release more amount of polluted things or emissions into atmosphere. So for that industries they set up the benchmarks. So which are those industries? Steel industry, cement industry, cooling appliances industries. And this one is they want to go for carbon trading. So you know this carbon trading, right? So here we can go and sell this carbon dioxide emissions between the companies. That is called as carbon trading. So in this updated things, they are also focusing on carbon trading, guys. And what is the impact of this? If we are focusing on increasing of energy efficiency, is that good for environment or not? Yes, obviously we will be having good impact on our environment. We can like absorb more 200 to 300 million tons of carbon dioxide annually by 2035, so that we can decrease emissions, we can control climate change and as well as global warming. And even we can also have some economic impact. Like as you all know that India is not having this coal reserves much. So we have to import this coal reserves from other countries to produce thermal energy. And if you see the share of energy which is produced, that is electricity which is produced in India, 70% of energy we are producing from coal. So here if you are reducing that coal production and if you are diverting from solar or wind energy, obviously we can share our what? We can save our foreign currency, and as well as we can have more input, because India is present in tropical region. India can get more sunshine compared to that of temperate countries or polar region, right? So we can trap that solar energy and we can use that. Okay, see this article, guys. Title says India, China are primary funders of Russian war, says Trump. Again, one more issue between India and US. What are the issues between India and US? Yeah, 50% tariff. Next. GM crops issue. Next. Recently, yesterday's class we discussed about visa. What are the changes in this H1B visa? Now, one-time payment. What is that amount? $1 lakh should be paid by employer to provide a visa for one employee to come to bring to this USA to work in their companies. So because of this, it is discouraging Indians to enter into US now, because in that H1B visa, mostly 70% of visas will be given for this Indians, and next 10 to 15% will be occupied by China. So again, it is having impact on India. And one more move, what he said, India and China are primary funders of Russian war. So is that statement right, guys? No? Yes? Okay, why this statement said by this Donald Trump? పాపం ఏం పనిలేదు, ఎప్పుడు ఏదో ఒక స్టేట్మెంట్ చేసుకుంటూనే వెళ్తారు. ఎస్. సో టెల్ మీ, వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ స్టేట్మెంట్ మేడ్ బై దిస్ Trump? So do you know about details of Russia-Ukraine war, like what happened, what is the reason behind this Russia-Ukraine war? Okay, so actually if you go back to 1960s time, so after this 1945 we had completion or end of this World War II, our entire world entered into a phase called as Cold War. Cold War is nothing but there is no direct war, there are some indirect proxy wars were there between the countries. So at that time of Cold War, two power blocks were formed. On one side we have USSR, next one is USA. So USA came up with one concept called as NATO. Full form is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And if you are members of this NATO, what is advantage? So if any one country is attacking you, we will believe that that attack is entire on this group of NATO and will do retaliation. That is, will strike that country again. So that is the concept of NATO. That is nothing but a military alliance to protect their country's security, sovereignty, everything. They came up with this concept. Okay, so against this, USSR also came up with one concept that is called as Warsaw Pact. It is not that much hit compared to that of this NATO. So actually recently what happened was Ukraine wants to join this NATO. Ukraine gave application for entry into this NATO. So actually Ukraine and Russia, if you open the map and see, they'll share boundary like this. So what happens if Ukraine, this is Ukraine and this is Russia, if Ukraine is joining this NATO, now this NATO forces, military forces will come and will stand across this Russia-Ukraine border. So is that right for Russia? So Russia believes that it will be having impact on its security, safety, everything. And Russia don't want this Ukraine to join this NATO. So from that day onwards, here Russia started attacking this Ukraine. And now actually this Ukraine is a very, very small country compared to that of this Russia. But Western countries, the countries which part of NATO, they started supporting this Ukraine. So they started giving arms, weapons, money, humanitarian aid, finance, whatever Ukraine wants. So these countries are supporting this Ukraine. So because of this support from this Western countries and NATO countries, so this Ukraine is still surviving with this war with this massive big country. Okay, so recently we completed even third anniversary also, like 3 years completion of this Russia-Ukraine war, and even though this war is still going on. Okay, so after, if you see the news part of the story or news side of the story, so recently in US, Trump era started, Trump 2.0 era started. So whenever this Trump came into power, actually he wants to show the big brother attitude. And now US wants to come up with the end of Russia-Ukraine war. Okay. So after this, what happened? So here, US wants to hit Russia economically. If Russia is economically hidden by this economically, then it will be not having finances to continue the war against Russia, Ukraine, right? So because of this, US wants to hit Russia economically. And what is the important source of income for this Russia now is exporting of crude oil. So that is one important source now for Russia. So who are buying this crude oil? India is buying and even China is buying. India and China, they contribute 70% of crude oil exports of Russia. And if you're taking this crude oil, we have to pay money back, right? They will not give for free of cost. Okay. So here India and China, they are giving money for the crude oil which they are buying. That is around 70% of crude oil these two countries are buying. So because of this, it is generating some revenue or income from this Russia, and it is continuing war against Ukraine. So because of this, indirectly Trump is saying that for Russia, India and China, they are funding for this Ukraine war. Okay. So to stop this, recently which act US came up with? Russian Sanction Act of 2025, right? What this Russian Sanction Act says? Any country which is importing oil or energy. Russia is famous for oil and even gas also, natural gas. So actually the point here is, here we have NATO, right? So especially European countries, they will also buy energy, nothing but natural gas from this Russia. But US is pointing out only India and China for buying of crude oil. But nowhere they are saying about this gas exports to this European countries which are part of this NATO again. Okay, so because of this, there was one article which was there in the news, I think 1 month or 2 months ago, that US is only one side. He's not talking about the second side about this natural gas exports to European countries. Okay, so here this article is about this Russian Sanction Act. Why this Russian Sanction Act came up by the US? To hit this Russia economically. And according to this act, what this US says is, the countries which are importing this crude oil, or if they are dependent on this Russia for their energy security, we are going to impose how much amount of tariff? Up to 500% of tariff. As part of this, how much they are imposing on India? 25% they are imposing on India based on this Russian Sanction Act. Totally US is imposing 50% of tariff. So this is about the story, guys. Have you understood now? Okay, so this article is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations, and even from GS paper 3 under economy point of view, guys. Okay, nothing more than this. So just refer this after one's class is done and see this article, very important topic of the day. World Bank to fund Tamil Nadu village councils for mangrove plantation. So what are the keywords here? First one is World Bank here. Second one is Tamil Nadu village councils, and third one is mangroves. So you know about this mangroves, right? We discussed number of times. So they are present at this intertidal zone. Whenever river which is joining this sea or ocean, so in that area we have this mangroves, and they provide lots of ecological services. You know that. And here you know about this World Bank. Yes. Recently economy done for old batch students. So there you discussed, there you might be knowing about IMF, ADB, Asian Development Bank, New Development Bank, IMF, World Bank. So just refer about this World Bank related details. Okay, now let us see what is this article talking about. So actually this article is saying that World Bank is now funding for this Tamil Nadu village councils. For what? For improving of mangroves in their region. And where is this Tamil Nadu located? First of all, you have to know location of Tamil Nadu. Yeah. So here we have Tamil Nadu, right? Here which water body we have? What is this? Bay of Bengal. And which river? Is there any river which flows in Tamil Nadu? River Kaveri, very good. So river Kaveri will flow like this and is forming the delta. And here we can see in this coastal regions mangroves. Am I making sense why this World Bank is providing this funds for mangroves? Because it is having the boundary with this sea and it is having intertidal zone, and there we are focusing on mangroves. Okay guys, now tell me why we have to go for mangrove protection now. Is that important? So climate change is happening, we know, increasing of temperature. So because of this, there is increasing of cyclones in this Bay of Bengal region. So whenever cyclones happens in this Bay of Bengal region, first they'll move towards west, right? And they'll move towards northwest. First the direction will be like this, first, second, third and fourth. So in this way the cyclones will move, guys. So because of this, first there is a threat for this Tamil Nadu. Okay. So because of this, we have to develop this mangroves to protect this coastal area against coastal erosions and to control the speed of this tsunami waves or like cyclonic waves, everything. Okay. So for that we need this. And even you know that this is Indo-Australian plate. Here we have Himalayas, here we have Purvanchal, here we have Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And because of this plate movements also, there is a very high chance of happening of earthquake inside this oceans, and that will lead to tsunami. And India was worst hit by 2004 tsunami. And from that time onwards, we are learning lessons from the history. And now we are focusing on protection against disaster across the coast. So it is one example as a part like how we are preparing to mitigate disaster in our country. Okay. Yeah, now let us see the context. This article is saying that we are coming up with a groundbreaking initiative under Tamil Nadu Coastal Restoration Mission. So you have to make the note of this. The mission name is TN Shore. And this TN Shore, now we are focusing on improving of mangrove plantation, and we are focusing on coastal restoration now. Okay, so here you have to see what is this mangrove council or village mangrove councils. So these councils are now formed at village level, and they are the primary handlers of this World Bank funds. Now whatever the funds we are getting from this World Bank, so now these village level councils will be taking care of that. So they will see about the plantation drives and which sites had been selected for the plantation and monitoring, etc. And actually in this council we will be having only local residents, local community people, and who will be the head? Head will be forest range officer in this council, guys. And what is this project? Actually this project is focusing on enhancing of bioshield capabilities through mangrove ecosystem, and actually we are focusing on restoration of this mangroves through this program. And we have a specific goal under this program, that is we have to go for planting of 1000 hectares. What is 1 hectare? 1 hectare is equal to 2.5 acres, right? And we are focusing on 1000 hectares of restoration of this mangrove lands, and it's a very, very biggest program in Tamil Nadu state. And not only that, we also want to focus on protecting of some endangered species, because this mangrove is very famous for rich biodiversity. So we want to protect this rich biodiversity also in this region. Like we will be focusing on olive reedy turtles, dugongs. Dugong is nothing but sea cow, which is a herbivorous big mammal which will be there in this water. And we want to focus on livelihoods. We want to focus on ecotourism, and as well as we want to focus on this problem called as plastic waste management. And what are the benefits? Yes, we have environmental benefits, ecological benefits. So here we can improve coastal erosion in this region. We can restore the mangroves. We can protect certain animals which are present in this region, and we can improve the fishing. We can improve the livelihoods of the people, ecotourism, and we can boost economy through this tourism. So like that we have lots of advantages of this program, guys. Next one, see here, India to hold mega drone drill, cold start in October to test air defense capabilities. So recently cold start is seen in news. What it is? You may get question like this. So you have to write this cold start. Cold start is drone drill in India, and it's going to be held in MP, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, very, very important article from your prelims point of view. Okay, so this article is saying that India's armed forces, they are focusing on one landmark exercise called as cold start. and it's one of the largest drone and counter drone war game. So why we are focusing on drones now? So till now we ignored drones. We focused on only missiles, only aircrafts, only certain big equipment. We ignored the small drones. But in this recent Operation Sindoor, we came to know about importance of drones. So we used drones and we crossed this international line and we blasted certain areas in Pakistan. And even in Operation Sindoor, Turkey supplied more than 300 drones to this Pakistan, and Pakistan used that drones against India, right? So we learned that we are missing in these drones. And what is the advantage of drones? It will not cause any loss of life. We can operate them by using remotes. Yes, and even sometimes radars cannot identify this drones. That is one advantage. And even the cost is very less compared to that of air fights. Yes. So like that, we have multiple advantages of using of drones. So because of this, now we are focusing on development of drone technology in our country, and what are the drones we have, whether that are efficient or not, in which conditions we can use that, we have to know. Because in drones we have different types based on their size: nano drones, small drones, medium drones, large drones, and very big size drones we have. Okay, so recently China came up with a drone which is of size of mosquito, and even that we can't see also. So here that means lots of advancement which are happening in other countries. Why can't we incorporate in us? So if you're not incorporating that technology in our country, then what happens? We will be lagging behind. Yes, India will be susceptible for that kind of attacks, right? So because of this, we are focusing on this cold start, and it is largest drone and counter drone war game now in India. So where we are focusing on especially test drones, and we are focusing on counter drones. Counter drone is nothing but if there is any drone which is coming, how you are attacking that drone of other country. That is called as counter drones. And we are also focusing on swarm attacks. So recently in this Operation Sindoor, we got the swarm attacks. Swarm is nothing but continuously these drones will come. Not a single drone. The group of drones will come and will attack at a time. So if multiple drones are coming, how we are neutralizing them? That is called as swarm drone attack. And we are focusing on that. If multiple drones will come and attack, how we have to retaliate. And this one is how we have to detect them and how we have to track them. If some drones are not identified by the radars, then what are the other technologies we can use, like AI, machine learning, how? So that thing that we are going to see. And this one is how we have to go for neutralization. So actually drones will be working on GPS, right? So if you want to track them, and if you want to attack them, or if you want to neutralize them, we have to use this GPS jamming. So you know this GPS jamming, that's nothing but we have to block the signals. So whether we have that technology or not. So all these things we are going to take into consideration in this event. Okay. And there are other two articles which are again related to disaster. So mostly our paper is filled with water, rainfall, floods. People had been succumbed in that water like that everywhere. Even in Rajasthan also, heavy rainfall, floods which are happening in this Rajasthan. So because of this, most of the articles are there regarding this C ones, about what are the reasons for this flash floods and what are the measurements that we have to take. Okay, everything. Okay, let us see this next article, very important article, and it will be a most probably a mains question this in this 2026, guys. You have to prepare for this. So this article is talking about penalty in proportion. Criminal defamation is incompatible with democratic debate. So this article is talking about defamation. So have you heard this defamation? If anyone who is trying to remove the reputation of any other person, that person can file a case called as defamation case. Do you know this? In 2019, even on Rahul Gandhi also there was a defamation case which had been filed because he used word Modi surname, and he used a certain word directly attacked on the surname of Modi, and because of that he was disqualified for certain months for this MP also. So that is that much dangerous. So actually this article, why it is in news, because recently Supreme Court judge, he made one statement, that is, it is a time to decriminalize this defamation. We have to remove this defamation. Why? Because in the Supreme Courts, and not only Supreme Courts, in High Courts and District Courts, there are increasing cases of defamation. So because of this, it is a high time we can't deal with that defamation related cases. Please try to decriminalize this defamation. So that is the thing which mainly said. So now let us see what is this article. So a justice said that it is a time has come to decriminalize defamation. So because in lots of cases the misuse of this defamation is happening. If someone said something, someone says that it is losing my reputation, na paru poindi because of this statement, because someone talked about me, and you're going and you're filing the cases. So because of this, there is increasing of pendency and there is also increasing of misuse of this defamation. So if you see about this defamation, what are the constitutional provisions which are there in our constitution? So we have Article 19(1) subclass A, which talks about right to freedom of speech and expression. So whatever it comes in our mind, it is my right to talk everything. So because of this, what happened? It is leading to the loss of reputation of some other ones. So actually, as you all know that fundamental rights are not absolute. There are certain reasonable restrictions under this, right? So which article talks about reasonable restrictions? Article 19 subclass 2. And what are the clauses? So based on the sovereignty and integrity of India, security of India, based on the friendly relations with the foreign states, based on public order, decency and morality, contempt of court and defamation. Defamation is also reasonable restriction actually, which is given in our constitution. So our courts are saying that remove this provision here. Okay. And because of this defamation, if you are losing your reputation, what happens? It will be affecting one more article, that is Article 21, talks about dignity of life. So what is criminal defamation? That is nothing but offense of harming person's character or fame or reputation with false or malicious statements. And this criminal defamation happens by two ways. First one is if you talk anything which comes in your mouth. Second one is you can also remove the reputation by printing media or by in any written format. So in these two ways we have defamation. So actually in our Indian context, in IPC section 499 and IP section 500 deals about this defamation and as well as what are the punishments. Actually this IPC is old, outdated. So now it had been replaced by BNS. So now you have to see what are the sections in this BNS deals with this. So in BNS, we have section 354 and as well as section 356, which says about this defamation and what are the punishments. So punishments will be like imprisonment up to 3 years and even fine, and sometimes both can be awarded by the courts. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so this is about this article, guys. So these are the important topics that appear in our today's Hindi newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and please do like this class and share this class. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathor's IAS Academy.